Alright, we got the rest of that first lip off there. I like to take that lip off just to help the rest of it lay flat when you fold it underneath. I did forget to mention this is a 96 Jeep Cherokee XJ. And you'll need a ratchet wrench just to make it easier, and a 10mm and a 7mm socket. 10mm takes out all these little nuts around the edge, and then there'll be self-tapping screws on the corners, and those will be the little 7mm heads. Alright, we were just waiting for the compressor to fill up again. Easiest tool to use probably is an air tool with I have a 3-inch cutoff wheel here, but I only have a 20-gallon air compressor, so it does take a little bit of time to make a few cuts and then wait for it to fill up. Now what I did is take a little marker, I don't know if you can see it, but marked all the pinch welds. It does get a little dusty, so I want to make sure I can see them all and not hit them. Then I made little lines here. I don't usually mark them, but I don't know if you can see them on the video, but I thought I'd do it just to show it on camera here. Make more cuts around the corners. It'll help it follow the line better. Some people like to leave a large gap between cuts on the straights. I don't. I still like to make them a little closer. They're easier to bend, less risk of making a wave up here on the top edge, for the finished product. So I still make about a 2-inch gap between each cut. It's a few more cuts than some might like to make, but I think it makes a cleaner finished product. So we'll start making some of the relief cuts and get it folded up. Now I started to make some of the relief cuts. You can see that I put a strip of tape following the edge. That's just going to help kind of give me a guide, like I said, as far as how far up to go with the relief cuts. A lot of people go right up to where it starts to fold, and they'll get in that bend right there, and you'll never get it to fold up exactly on that bend or a real sharp fold, especially if you're doing it this way, with a mallet or whatever. So you'll have, you'll see the little cut on the outside of it on the finished product, and it doesn't look very clean to me. So I'm trying to go right up to just before where it starts to bend, and that way hopefully when I fold it under, it'll fold the top of that cut underneath as well, and you won't see that on the outside edge. So you can see there's a few more closer cuts around the bend that'll help make that curve, and then still only about a 2-inch gap between cuts on the straightaways. It's going to be easier to fold that under than folding, say, like a 4 or 5-inch long gap. Still, again, going between all the pinch welds. There's 2 pieces of metal on this rear quarter that are pinch welded together, give it a lot more support. So you don't want to cut those pinches; it'll let the metal separate, and you have to weld it or whatever. And you'll have issues, potential rust issues, and structural integrity issues, things like that. Front fender, no pinch welds, just a single sheet of metal, so that's a lot easier to cut.